everyone. You're listening to a Coffees with Toffees podcast. I'll be your host, Flubb, and this is the Flupdate. So we got a great show for you tonight. We only have two things on the docket, but the thing is that there are two very important things that I would like to be talking about today. And they are the lineup changes that have been happening this week, things that you guys, I feel like you need to know, and most importantly, 7.05 patch has been dropped. So I would like to kind of give you my thoughts on it, do a little bit less than a patch notes review this time because it's current, it's during the Flupdate anyway. So I just kind of want to give you my thoughts and feelings about what's going to be happening in the next patch, what maybe heroes you should look out for, maybe what heroes you should try to get better with in general, and kind of move on from there. So even though it's only two things, I think they will take up more than enough time. I'm actually expecting it to be kind of a long one, so sorry for those of you who really like these short, concise episodes. I feel like this one might be a little bit longer. I'm going to try my best, though. I'm going to try my best. Alright, so let's start it up with the lineup changes. So at first we have lineup changes. We have Meracle with an E, Meracle, QO, and DJ. They are all moving to Fnatic, and they are moving with the current members that exist, Ohaiyo and Febby. So this team is kind of a very stacked team in general. It's someone to look out for. They've already played a few of their games. Not surprisingly, they've looked a little shaky at this point. They still don't have that team dynamic down. So give them a couple months, maybe after the Kiev, after maybe during the summer in general. Just give them a few, months to kind of get the hang of each other, feel the rhythm through it, and I feel like they will be a great team. Alright, and then on to sadder news, we got NP kicking 1437 and SVG. And 1437 actually sent out a YouTube video, and I'll actually link that in below so you guys can watch it if you guys want to. Basically, obviously he wasn't going to go into it too much, but the understanding is that it was kind of a messy break from the group, whether it's on the side of the people who were there already or from 1437 or Rose and SVG. Then it's there's some kind of nastiness that happened there, but it seemed to be that they are not going to be giving up on Dota, which is great because I like these two a lot, and I know that they will get attention somewhere else, and they will find some way to stay in the current scene and be relevant. So, good luck to these guys, and I hope to see them in a new team very soon. F.R.I.E.N.D.S got a new sponsor. They have Team Mousesports, the classic name, Team Mousesports, is actually going to be sponsoring F.R.I.E.N.D.S, and I'm for one excited for the guys. I hope that it works out really well and they like their new background and their new mousy look to them. But anyway, going on to other news, we got ChuaN moving from Boss to VG, and we have DC moving from VG to LFY, or LGD, Forever Young. And basically, ChuaN's taking over for DC, and then, I'm sorry, not DC, DDC. And DDC is then moving into the spot where White is going, and then White is moving into the sub position for Forever Young. So, just a little bit of change up in the Chinese scene, guys getting traded along the list. Nothing too crazy, but something to look out for when the names change. Also, G and Silent are being picked up by Vega Squadron, and ALOHADANCE and Afterlife are coming over to Vega as well from F.R.I.E.N.D.S. So just a little bit of a change up. Hopefully Vega Squadron, obviously they're getting some names in there, they're coming all together, and some big names, and they generally look pretty strong as well. It's another new team that I'm excited to see. It's always good to see new blood getting formed up together. It's nice when people stay friends, but I want to see the team succeed and have the best Dota we possibly can. So it's good that that's happening. Alright, so the thing that everyone's here to see really is the 7.05 patch, right? Everyone loves talking about patches, and I want to just talk about the patch, kind of go over it really simple. I'm going to be as fast as I can, so I'm going to only talk about everything just a little bit here. So let's just dive right in. Alright, first off, we got Treant Protector. he is now available in Captain's Mode, which is great because there's a lot of availability for what the hero does, and as we all know, he's been picked up in pubs a lot, and he has a lot of enjoyable movement and just the way that he plays the game with having the New Nature's guys, being able to have that stun, and the availability of what he can do. Now, like Classic Ice Frog, he did nerf him as he's going into Captain's Mode to make him less impactful, which is smart. You know, you don't want to have these guys that are crazy powerful any more powerful when they come out into the pro scene and then dominate the pro scene for a while. So they're going to pare him back a little bit, and I'll get back to that further into the patch, but we're going to continue along this path. So we're going to go into the tower changes, and there's 3 tower changes that kind of come together here. The tower's base armor is reduced by 2, once again, so it's very low armor for the towers. But the armor gain on the towers per enemy hero is actually 3 instead of 2 now. So obviously the base armor is not as good for that 5-man push. And another thing that kind of nerfs the 5-man push idea is that the AoE base for these heroes being around it to get the armor, I'm sorry, not get the armor, but to give the armor to the tower, actually is changed from 1,200 to 1,400. So a little bit of a change up. Not able to keep your supports as close as you would want to. It has a lot of potential to bring people into a more focused. Okay, we're gonna do some split pushing, kind of bring out that old style of play before, and it's enjoyable. I like to see split pushing. I would rather see split pushing than illusions at this point. So anything that we can make anything stronger than Illusion Radiance Gaming would be a godsend at this point. Alright, and then now they're changing up the shrines once again. They're lowering it by 10. Their base health regen is now reduced from 100 to 90. So if you're going from 2 patches ago, it went down 20 regen per tick, which is quite a bit. So if you're looking to shrine up after a fight, it's not going to be quite as effective. Really take advantage of the item dropping, item backpacking ability. Try to get that maximum out of your regen because it matters even more so now. Alright, so the intelligence change. There's an intelligence change that was, it's a little bit old now, but the intelligence spell amplification was 1% per 16 intelligence, and now it has been changed to 1% per 15. Not that big a deal. Really not anything that's going to make intelligence people any more stronger than they already are. It's just, something nice that Ice Frog likes to tinker with. The XP change. This is one of the biggest things I think of this patch, and it's something to really pay attention to. When you are looking at the idea of the XP, you want to go from the required level from level 20 to 25 has been reduced from 10,895 to just a straight 10,000. And I can throw all these numbers at you, but basically you're going to have less of a lull when you hit that 20 mark. It's been really easy to hit that level 20, but then once you hit that level 20, it's like impossible to get to level 25. Especially like as a support player, I know all my support fans feel it with me. Whenever you get to that point, it's almost impossible to hit level 25 unless the game goes really long. So hopefully this will kind of give us a better buffer into less of a buffer into the late game, and let us be able to be more impactful and have these cool level 25 talents that are always being changed constantly. So let's get into the meat of it, though, the items. Items are always something that people love to talk about, so we're going to talk about the Hand of Midas. Hand of Midas XP bonus got reduced from 2.5 to 1.75 XP gained from the creep. So obviously what this means is that you still benefit from using a bigger creep. I feel like this is a better patch to actually just use it constantly. Running over to the creep camp to grab a bigger creep, get that XP is great, but it's more about getting that constant gold revenue, that constant flow to get the next item, to get the next thing. So it's more of a, obviously it's more of the advantage to try to give it for the late game, trying to give you that push towards it. So it makes a lot of sense, and they've also changed the gold for it as well, changing it from 190 to 220. So going from that gold bonus, obviously it's a bigger deal. You get a little bit more gold, a lot less experience. So maybe consider not using this on Invoker as much. Maybe consider using it on people who generally need the gold at a later time. I I may even try to suggest building it only on like people like Crystal Maiden. I feel like Crystal Maiden can still work with it. Obviously, it hurts to have that XP bonus lessened, but really what I found as a Crystal Maiden, how it's useful is that it always lets you have that revenue of being able to get the gold for wards. And 220 obviously gives you the availability of picking up 2 sentries right then and there whenever you eat a creep, and then some. Probably just a couple more seconds and you'll have a TP. So fantastic to have, and I'm interested to see how it changes the meta from this point. Orb of Venom has been changed up a little bit, nothing too severe, just things to kind of throw us off of our balance on understanding the item. Slow duration has been reduced from 4 seconds to 3. That's actually quite a big nerf because there's a lot of times where you have a general movement on someone, you can kind of keep them at a slower pace, you can pull them back, and just hitting that one hit almost guarantees you to get the next one because 4 seconds is a long time. Whereas 3 possibly can work on certain heroes. Orb of Venom, also its DPS has been increased from 3 to 5, so you're getting not the same amount of damage. You're technically getting more damage, but it's Orb of Venom damage. It's only 15, so whatever. Tranquil Boots. Tranquil Boots have been changed quite a bit. Requires a windlace instead of a ring of protection now. Kind of a big deal. Obviously, it doesn't provide armor anymore. So not having that armor protection kind of lessens its impact on the off-lane heroes. You don't necessarily want to have the Tranquil Boots because their survivability kind of has gone down by getting this reduction on armor. It's still useful on certain heroes, and it's probably still going to be core. It's just not as survivable as it once was. It's more about getting the regen when you're out of fights, and it's more about trying to get you to the fights when it happens. So they've also changed quite a bit of other things about that item. The active regen state has actually been increased from 12 to 14. So whenever it goes on cooldown, you have 14 seconds until it will actually go into the regen state. Your active movement speed has been increased from 85 to 90 on the Tranquil Boots, and the disabled movement speed has been increased from 55 to 65. So basically it makes them a little bit better than normal boots. It kind of counteracts that ability. Obviously gives you the components pretty much of a windlace instead of giving the ring of protection. Power Treads. Power Treads attribute bonus has been changed to 9 to 10. Not a huge deal, but something to keep note of for anybody who's building Power Treads. Just a little bit of help here and there. Quelling Blade. Quelling Blade does not stack with Iron Talon anymore. And what this means is basically they're trying to take away the problem that existed in the game where you would have a situation of, oh, okay, I'm getting no farm on a Spectre, and my Spectre needs to just go into the jungle and farm up some waves, or my AM has got pressured in the beginning, and they just got to go into the jungle at this point and farm because they're not pressuring that area. And they'd come out basically 4 minutes behind or 5 minutes behind sometimes, but a lot of times you'd pick up heroes like, I would say, like Undying or something to basically push them out of lane to guarantee that they would have bad early game so that they wouldn't exist by the late game. And they kind of have taken away a lot from that by having the Quelling Blade and Iron Talon and these shrines out there for that potential. So now they're kind of pulling back, letting this harassment game exist and letting it still be effective without having these ways of quick farming your way back into the game. A lot more useful. Personally, I love this change because half of my game is harassing, so that's kind of what I've been missing in the 7.0 realm. I'm glad that they're bringing it back. Alright, so now we're done talking about items. Let's go into the heroes. The heroes, there's a lot of different heroes. Once again, I'm going to try to run through these as fast as I can. So, Abaddon, his strength got reduced from 2.5 to 2.3. not too big of a change there. But it is over time, so you know it can matter after a while. AA's Cold Feet basically got rescaled. There's numbers here, but basically it does more damage by level 3 and 4. It does less damage at level 1. It's just tick scaling, rescaled things. AA's cooldown for Cold Feet got reduced from 13-11-9-7 to 10-9-8-7. Alchemist got a major nerf to two things. His acid spray radius got reduced from a flat 625 to 400, 475, 550, and 625. We also have his chemical rage cooldown being increased from 45 to 55. Makes it a big deal for if you go to the Octarine Radiance build. Thank God they're nerfing it again. It's going to be an average of 12 seconds longer on your chemical rage, even if you go that build. So you won't just be constantly having it and have a 4-second cooldown in between those times. Very, very good. I'm very happy with that. We'll go into Bane. Bane is next with the level 15 talent. Got increased from 25 experience gain to 30. And his level 20 enfeeble damage reduction was 75. Now it's plus 90. Brewmaster, his Earth Primal unit Demolish now gives a base damage because it gives in plus 90, plus 180, plus 270 to damage versus buildings. And it was basically, they did this because there's a kind of a cheap way to get around it. Before there was it was basically on level of Hook Fountain type cheesiness, where you could Alacrity the Earth Panda and it would do a bunch of damage, and he would basically Alacrity gives you a lot of damage, a lot of attack speed. So when it was a base of 300% more damage, it would just supercharge the guy, and he would just melt damage, and you couldn't really do anything about it because it was magic immune, and then you had two other little guys in the back that were going to stay alive anyway. So just really incredible, and I'm glad that they're kind of paring that back, the cheesiness, and making him better in general by all of his other stuff. So the Earth Primal units BAT is actually reduced from 1.35 to 1.25, so a little bit of a buff there. They also have the talent for level 15 got increased from 12 magic resistance to 15 magic resistance. We also have at level 35, we have a minus 35, not level 35, level 20, we have minus 35 seconds to respawn timer, and it got changed to minus 40. Level 25, the increase of damage was plus 75 damage, now it is 120. And his level 25 talent, instead of going to plus 20 armor to each unit, each one of his primal split units, it is now 2,000 health per primal split unit. Actually kind of a better thing in general. He's not subject to, all the guys aren't really subject to magic damage, or, you know, going into the idea of, what is it, cure damage. Jeez, couldn't remember the term, sorry about that. So there's a lot of ways that they just exist longer, and he's just better as a whole when he hits level 25. Something greatly needed for the hero, and I felt like by the late game the units just weren't really, they were lackluster, let's put it at that. Alright, so then we go into Bristleback. Bristleback's Quill Spray AoE got changed from 650 to 700. Another big buff, actually, in my opinion. It's something to look out for. I don't think that he is viable as a offlane yet. I've done a lot of kind of play with this hero, though, and I'll have to explain it by the end of this. Hold on. Give me a couple seconds here. I'm going to say level 15 talent, he got changed, and his level 25's talents got changed too. So at level 15, it was 200 health, now it's 225. And then for his level 25 talent, it was plus 25 health regen per second, now it's plus 30. And his quill stack damage went from 20 to 25. And the quill stack damage is actually kind of a big deal because it averages out a 5 per quill stack, obviously. So if you get up to, let's say, 5 quills on him, and you're running away and you keep using it, because you're going to survive for a while at level 25 with Bristleback and everything. If they don't have a way to break it, or they don't have a way to keep that going, which Obviously, that's the problem with the hero. It's a lot of added damage from those sprays coming out of him in the back. And really, at this point, until they find a way to break it, it's better to actually go for the plus 30 regen, just because you need him to stay alive even through the breaking of the bristleback. So I do think he's useful, though. I have been playing around with this idea, and the way that the towers have changed, I want to try to challenge you guys to think about it this way. So I've been running him as a 1, and I know that's weird, but he has a lot of potential in that situation. You give him a few items, and he can basically outlane any offlaner today in his position. The only one that he has real problems with is easily Timbersaw, because Timbersaw has obviously been a counter since like day 1 since that hero came out. Thing is, though, if you can just leave him alone and let him solo push on a lane, picking up a Blightstone, being able to get that extra attack speed and extra damage from his ultimate, and just be able to smack down towers, he offers a lot to the table. And if you have someone just go up and try to gank him, you have 5-man gank him. Alright, you 5-man gank the bristleback, he's probably going to at least kill one person at the same time for that trade, and then you push elsewhere. So I think he has a lot of potential for what split push offers, and I challenge you guys to think of heroes in that way, like I am. Try to move it around and try to fit these heroes in different spots, because there's a lot of heroes that are getting buffed here that they have problems with certain items, and if you can kind of counteract those items or counteract them before the people can farm them, then that's kind of the way the hero will break through. Alright, so enough of getting off my soapbox. We're going to talk more about these heroes. Let's talk about Broodmother. Broodmother's incapacitating bite slow has been increased from 14%, 24%, 34%, 44% to 16, 26, 36, 46. Just basically change the 4s into 6s. We got Broodmother's 15 talent. It has been increased from plus 325 health to 350. And her level 25 talent has been plus 200 health to Spiderlings, but is now plus 225. ChuaN, he has a little bit of a change up. We have his talent level 10 got plus 25 move speed, now it's plus 30. And his level 20 talent was minus 40 respawn time, now it's minus 45. Clockwork's space strength has gone up by 2. All of these are, obviously these are little bit things. Broodmother, I don't think she's really viable unless you have like the right team. I've been toying around with her, and I'll probably get back to you in the next couple weeks about how to make her better. But ChuaN, Clockwork, these are minor changes. They're really not going to change their potential that much. If you use them now, great. If you don't, I would continue not using them. Death Prophet, her strength gain got changed back from 0.19 to 0.23. Her level 15 talent got increased from -1 Crypt Swarm cooldown to -0.1. -1.5. Don't know why I had such a hard time with that. Apparently I have a hard time with words. Blech. I think that's funny. Don't think it's that good, though. Man's must swallowed a frog. Alright. We got Death Prophet. Level 15 talent got increased from 100 cast range to 150. Doom got Doom damage increase from 20, 35, 50 to 25, 40, 55. So basically at all levels adding 5 extra damage a second. His level 10 talent got changed from 250 health to 275. He has a plus 20 move speed now and moved up to plus 25 at level 15. His level 20 talent got changed from plus 35 Doom DPS to plus 40. And his other level 20 talent got changed. Instead of the regen, is actually now he can devour ancient creeps. So if you were to pick up that before at level 25, you can get it 5 levels sooner. Pretty good now. I really enjoy that. I would actually strongly encourage that over the Doom damage, because Doom is Doom and it's going to work like it's supposed to and silence someone out. Devouring an Ancient is pretty amazing. It just wasn't that good by level 25. So, fantastic buff to him. His level 25 talent, though, that was Devour Ancients, now got to be a plus 40 health regen a second. Amazing, amazing ability if you can get to that point. Once Doom gets to level 25, it is going to be hard to kill that sucker. We have at level 10, his level 10 talent for Dragon Knight, we have a strength increase of +9, and now it has moved up to +10. His other level 10 talent was +25 attack speed, now it's +30. Level 15, he was +35 XP gain, now it's +40. Honestly, I like that. I still think the hero is kind of in a weak point. The thing is, with the change to towers, I feel like he could resurface. He has a lot of potential to just solo push down, be that tanky guy that I was talking about, like Bristleback can be, and just guarantee tower pushes. And then getting a +40 XP gain when XP is actually reduced off of the Midas is a bigger incentive for him to be picked up. And having that level 15 bonus kind of skyrockets you to the late game, gets you up there quicker, and that's what you want at that point. When you hit level 15, all of the towers should be down on the outside, and farming creeps should it kind of gets to be that lull on that hero. So if you can't get Roshan, because they're doing a good job on it, you can at least pick up that talent to kind of give you that XP advantage, kind of get ahead of the game from there. Earth Spirit, his rolling bold or slow duration got reduced from 1.4, 1.6, 1.8, 2.0 to 1.8, 1.2, 1.62. So much slower in the beginning. Still good by the time you get to the end, though. Not too big of a nerf, really. Ember Spirit, his strength gain went from 2 to 1.8. His Enchantress her intelligence growth went from 2.8 to 3.1. Pretty incredible, really. 3.1 is an amazing growth rate. Enchantress talent went from her level 15 talent went from +7 Nature's Attendance Wisps to +8. Makes a lot of sense. That's what it was at before when it was a higher talent. So they're just like continually buffing her because there's a lot of things that are out there to kind of make her have a lot of problems. Faceless Void has the agility gain now has been increased from 2.65 to 2.8. Just a small little bonus to him. We have Invoker's base strength has been reduced by 1. Not really that big of a nerf. I wouldn't really affect any Invoker players. What's infecting the Invoker players is the Hand of Midas. So, may not want to play with him if that was a key part of your strategy, which it should have been. And it's going to hurt him pretty bad now. So, unless you're crazy good at the hero, I'd stay away from Invoker. Juggernaut, his base move speed has been reduced by 5. Good nerf. If you can't catch up to people, it's harder to play what he's really good at, chasing people down, using your ult, and obviously spinning them down. So, actually a significant nerf, even though it's only 5 move speed. Lich, his Frost Slow got changed up quite a bit. So his Chain Frost Slow got increased from -30% to -50%. But its slow duration went from 4 to 2.5. So a harder slow for less time. Kind of feel like that kind of evens out, but it's going to be a nerf in most scenarios unless you have other lockdown with him. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Sacrifice cooldown has been reduced. It was 60, 50, 40, 30. Now it is 60, 48, 36, 24. So maybe get that little bit of that sacrifice up a little bit quicker. Maybe make him a little bit better because Midas doesn't have as much of an XP gain once again. I still feel like if he's going to be anywhere, he's going to be like a duel in the off lane. And we might see that with harassment coming up a little bit more. He does have that potential, and I like to see him get better. Lifestealer. His open wounds mana cost has been rescaled from 110 to 140, 130, 120, 110. Rage attack speed has gone from 50, 60, 70, 80 to 40, 50, 60, 70. So it's been reduced at all levels by 10. Lena's talents got swapped. Her level 10 talent, her level 15 talent. So it was -30 before at level 10 for her respawn time. and now it's changed to plus 125 cast range, and then vice versa at level 15, the minus 30s now at level 15. Lycan, his level 10 talent got increased from 175 health to 200 health. His shapeshift got a bonus to the critical damage, has been increased from 140, 160, 180 to 160, 180, 200. Magnus Empower cost has been increased from 30, 40, 50, 60 to 30, 50, 70, 90. So pretty big bump. It goes from 10s before and now it goes from 20s. So it's just not as spammable. Makes the hero a lot less effective when you can't just run around spamming it on all your allies. Magnus' level 20 talent has been reduced from, it was plus 15% more on the empower damage and cleave, and now it is only 10%. Monkey King. We gotta get those Monkey King nerfs because everyone's picking them, right? So let's talk about that. Monkey King's boundless strike duration has been reduced from 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2 to 0.4, 0.8, 1.2, 1.6. It's good. The hero had too long of a stun at level 4. That's why I leveled it up constantly in the very beginning. It was just so crazy good. His Primal Spring mana cost has been rescaled from 100, 110, 120, 130 to 130, 120, 110, 100. So they're really wanting you to put more points into Primal Spring for it to be good. On that same side of the coin, they're also putting the slow a little bit, making the slow a little bit worse, where it was 30, 45, 60, 75. Now it's 20, 40, 60, 80. So it is technically better by the time you get level 4, but honestly it's only 5%, and when you're talking from 75 to 80, that's not that big a deal, whereas it would have been a much bigger deal in the beginning. His strength gain has got increased though, because he's just a thin piece of paper, so they didn't want to nerf him too hard. It's 22. It was 2.2. Now it is 2.5. That'd be awesome if it was 22. Alright, so his Wukong command, also his cooldown on his Wukong command got changed up. It was 185.70. It is now 130, 110, 90. This is actually the best change, I feel like. His ultimate was up way too often, and you had it for every time you died. I basically had it by the next fight easily. Unless they had buybacks and they were doing a buyback fight. Even then, sometimes I would still have it. It was insane. So, Nature's Prophet, he has gotten a buff. Obviously, there's the split pushing style in general. So, he has that capability. And, you know, he can actually just leave that area and have the ability of just spawning some saplings and just attacking the tower. So, you know, he has that potential. At the same time, they've also increased his base auto attack. His base damage has been increased by 6. And that's, you know, those big base increases really bump up the hero. So we might see Nature's Prophet again. I know there's some people that are super excited about it, some people that are not. I'm ready to have him back in my games again. Not Nature's Prophet. Phantom Lancer. Phantom Lancer's rush agility bonus has been changed from 6, 12, 18, 24 to 6, 14, 22, 30. A little bit of a buff, not much. Really, the core hero has a lot of problems to him already. I've seen people being more cavalier about building the Ag Scepter. I still don't really think it's worth it. I've seen it in practice. I'm not the biggest fan. It's okay. It's just okay. There's still wave clear, still a big deal. So, whatever. Phoenix, his base damage, or not base damage, his base strength, which does affect his base damage, has been increased by 2. Hit Pugna, his base movement speed has been increased from 330 to 335. So he's still a fast little bugger. His level 25 talent was plus 125 Nether Blast. Now it is 150. Queen of Pain's level 10 talent has been increased from 9 to 10. Jeez. 9 plus 9 strength to plus 10 strength. Her Shadow Strike cast range has been changed up a little bit. It was 450, 475, 500, 525. Now it is 450, 500, 550, and 600. Queen of Pain's Shadow Strike tick damage has also been changed up a little bit as well, making it more powerful at the end. It's just like her Shadow Strike range. It was 30, 40, 50, 60. Now it is 30, 45, 60, 75. So much better as an ability as you level it up. It's good. Her Shadow Strike kind of sucked. Razor, his base intelligence has been increased from 19 to 21. Really not that big a deal. I've played a lot of Razor. These buffs are so I'm going to move through them. Plus 20 move speed to plus 25 at level 10 talent. His level 15 talent, which you shouldn't be taking anyway, was plus 150 cast range. It is now plus 175. Still garbage talent. Yeah, people argue for it, but the other one's much better. His level 20 talent is 325 health. Now it is 400. So, make him a little bit tankier. I still kind of like the other talent a little bit better. Sometimes you need the health, though, so it's worth it. It's helping it out a little bit. Shadow Shaman. Gotta get those Shadow Shaman buffs, because I love this hero. His level 10 talent has been increased from plus 175 health to 200. His movement speed at level 10 got a plus 5. It went from plus 20 move speed to plus 25. His level 15 talent got increased from plus 30 XP gain to plus 35. Shadow Shaman's level 20 talent got changed from 20 magic resistance to 3 seconds of shackle duration. Kind of sucks, actually, because I like the magic resistance. 3 seconds shackles duration is an awful, awful talent. Because, okay, you have that time. If anybody is anybody who ever sees Shadow Shaman, unless he's the very last pick on your team, they're going to have stun. And they're going to interrupt you in some way. Because it's the easiest thing to stun an unmovable target. So I'm not really sure why they did that. That sucks, but I'm really excited about his level 25 talent. His level 25 talent was the 3-second shackle duration. Still horrible, horrible talent. Now it's changed to plus 350 damage on Ether Shock. Very nice. A big nuke. A huge nuke in an area on a hero that definitely needs it. I like it. I like it a lot. We got Skywrath Mage. A hero that I've been missing quite a bit, actually. His base movement speed has been increased from 325 to 330. And his level 10 talent has been increased from plus 125 health to plus 150. Sven. Everyone has been missing that Sven probably from those guys who were playing in patches a little bit before 7.0. His level 10 talent got increased from 200 mana to 225. His Great Cleave distance got increased. I almost forgot about that. Went from 550 to 570. It's only 20, but it's actually kind of funny that a lot of heroes will actually, there's like that 600 range, and you can kind of be in that 570 range a lot of times when you're trying to harass him. So you can kind of harass the guys with almost the general max attack range, except for obviously all the different like little things that you can do and the weirdness that's been happening to heroes in general. But the average hero he will be harassing with Great Cleave, which is fun. It's fun. We also have his level 20 talent has been changed up. It was plus 15 evasion, now it's plus 20% evasion. It's good for a strength hero for sure. I'm glad that they're buffing up his evasion a little bit. Makes him a little bit stronger. His level 25 talent was 6 seconds off of Stormhammer, and now it is 8 seconds. So generally it's going to be like a 6-second cooldown for Stormhammer on one of the strongest stuns in the game. Now it is a level 25 talent, and when you get there, you're kind of just... It's good to have that, for sure. It's good to have it. I just don't see it being as incredible as maybe they're hoping it to be. Or maybe they don't want it to be incredible. Maybe they think Sven is just a little bit off from being a good hero. Techies. The added sound effect. There's been an added sound effect for proximity mines when they're about to explode. So all those lovers of techies, I'm sorry to crap on your day, but I love this. So there's a little ticking noise that happens whenever the mines are around you. You can kind of hear it, so there's not the randomness. You're walking through the trees, and then there's an explosion. You didn't see the mine. You didn't see anything. You just take a ton of damage. That's not generally going to happen anymore. You can kind of outmaneuver them. Very, very, very nice. We also have a change up to his talents in general. We have the level 20 talent has been changed from negative 60 respawn time to plus 400 blast off damage. And his level 25 talent has been changed from, obviously the blast off damage has been taken away, and the negative 60 goes there. So, kind of changes up how Techies players are going to play, kind of move stuff around. I like it a lot. I like the idea that Techies has to pick from cooldown or respawn timer. Kind of makes them two different styles of play instead of giving him best of both worlds. And it kind of gives the idea of having either a big blast of damage for the blast off or going into the gold per minute in general to be able to get that farm potential that he kind of needs to have without taking away all the farm from everyone else. My least favorite thing about playing with a Techies player, well, actually there's a lot of things I don't like about playing with Techies players, to be honest, but if you're going to play with Techies and they're on your team and then they have mines in every lane and they're just exploding them to farm, that sucks. Because then you're missing out a lot on your own farm. You're giving a bunch of farm to a guy that's just going to be about his mines. And let's be honest, that's not going to generally win a game. It's just going to prevent the game from ending to a certain point. It can end the game if the team makes a mistake, though. And if you're betting on that, it's a really trolly thing to do, I guess. I just hate that hero. I learn him, but I hate that hero. Alright, so then we got Tiny. Tiny's base damage has been increased by 3. Not that big of a deal. His level 15 talent got also buffed. He went from 35 move speed, plus 35 move speed to plus 40. Whatever. The hero still lacks from the problem of you have all these tanky items that you build. You have, generally, you go into the raindrops to keep you alive, and his combo just doesn't work like it's supposed to anymore. You kind of have to go right-click Tiny, which right-click Tiny kind of sucks to begin with. So, I don't really like it that much. I think that he needs way more buffs to the patch at this point. We have Treant Protector being available in Captain's Mode, like I said before. His Leech Seed slow has been reduced from 22, 24, 26, 28 to 16, 20, 24, 28. Just worse at the beginning, so you can't just harass people out of lane. Makes sense. His early game potential is what people complain about all the time. That's a hero. His Overgrowth has been rescaled from a flat 70 at all levels to 100, 85, 70. It's a pretty big deal to have a 30-second cooldown timer increase on a hero that his ultimate does 0 damage, has a lot of setup, and it does do a root, which is awesome, but it does do 0 damage for an ultimate. So, it's kind of quite a big nerf. Treant Protector's base movement speed also was reduced by 5. Another nerf. He's about chasing people down, keeping them knocked down with the Orb of Venom, which was nerfed as well, and just hitting them in the Nature's Guise. So, they've really nerfed down what his potential is in lane, unless we change it up as a general strategist of Dota. We can maybe find the right way to play this hero. Underlord, he's been changed up a little bit, not too much. His level 10 talent, his armor got increased. It was plus 4, and now it's plus 5. His level 15 talent was plus 10 spell amplification, now it is plus 12. And his other level 15 talent was plus 35 move speed, and now it is plus 40. Viper, he got changed up a little bit, probably for the better. His level 10 talent got increased from 150 to 175. His level 15 talent, I think I said level 10. Yeah, okay. His level 15 talent got increased from plus 8 strength to plus 10 strength. His other level 15 talent went from plus 14 agility to plus 16 agility. Little buffs here and there, really those are not the unimportant ones. His level 20 talent is where it gets interesting. It went from plus 7 armor to poison attacks affecting buildings for his level 20 talent, which that was his level 25 talent. And then they changed his level 25 talent. Obviously, the poison affecting buildings isn't going to be there, but they gave them plus 20 armor 20 armor at level 25 is pretty awesome on top of all your other items. So he can have magic resistance and armor on the same hero in massive amounts. I like it a lot. This is going to be really cool, interesting to see. Also, the idea of having a Jakiro and Viper auto-attacking a tower, making it like not hit, sounds pretty fun to me. So let's have Viper show up and be more of a push man in the beginning, because honestly, affecting buildings at level 25 isn't going to matter. And it might not even matter at level 15. It might need to be like a level 15 ability. But I'm interested to see how it happens. All right, we're getting down to the edge here. Probably finally. Don't want to hear Flubb talking anymore at this point. All right, but we got to continue here. So we're going to go into Winter Wyvern. Winter Wyvern's level 15 talent got increased from plus 40 damage to plus 50 damage. His level 15 other level 15 talent got changed from plus 15 move speed to plus 20 move speed. Not that big a deal. Honestly, both of those are very weak on the scale of what they are before. The hero is still incredibly weak, and I don't really see him picked up except for special circumstances like versus Meepo. Zeus. This Zeus is getting some boosts. His base intelligence has been increased by 2. His level 10 talent has been changed from plus 200 health to plus 25 move speed. Probably better, really. He just needs to get away and not be hit in the first place. His level 15 talent has been increased from plus 10% magic resistance to plus 15. Big bump. His level 15 talent, other level 15 talent went from plus 5 armor to plus 7 armor. And his level 20 talent got changed from plus 35 move speed to plus 75 arc lightning damage. Which is really interesting because obviously as late game progresses, the damage on spells matter less and less. And I mean, there's counteracting and there's exceptions to this idea, like obviously Tinker and things like that, when you can spam them constantly. Thing is that Zeus falls off in general, and that's why he has that problem. This arc lightning maybe give him the boost to tip the scales. It's only plus 75 though. If it was plus 100, I know it's only 25 more damage. I feel like it would be a lot more to the hero and give him kind of a general push that he needs. Alright, so that was the patch, guys. I know I ran through it real quick, gave my opinions where I could. Oh man, my voice is killing me trying to run through all that. But I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the little things that happened to me. There's some people talking in chat right now. I'm going to answer them real quick. Sorry for those of you who are listening to it and not watching it. Yes, I'm doing the patch. Toffees is still around. I am just his co-host now. I do these different shows, and this is my show, the Flupdate. We also have a guy writing in little chat stuff, so I'm glad that you guys are here. Thanks for being here. I'm going to wrap up the show now. So I'm going to go to thanking everyone that kind of helped me out this week. A special thanks to Prism Gaming UK for showing me a great YouTube channel for this free music that we are listening to right now. And a special thanks to Bass Rebels for providing it themselves. The song, that is the channel. If you guys are interested, you can go to Bass Rebels on YouTube. And they're really great. They have all these different styles. Generally, it's a lot of trap or dubstep. Giving it a try. I'm not the biggest fan of dubstep, but it's growing on me. And I like this, so it's good to enjoy it. It's good to have some new perspective on music. All right, if you guys want to help us out, you want to help out me or Toffees or anyone that's involved with our little company, you can like or subscribe to any of our videos. Our Twitch channel is, as always, twitch.tv/Toffees_Dota2. We also have our YouTube channel is 5 Gaming. We also have a Patreon, and our Patreon is patreon.com/Toffees. If you are wanting to listen to our audio versions of our cast, you can listen to our Stitcher, or our iTunes, or our SoundCloud. You can download any of those, and we are available on all of them. We can also go, if you have any questions for me or Toffees, you can follow us at Toffees TV. You can follow me on my Twitter at FlubbDota. And if you have any questions for me in general, whether you're going to go into the casting or whatever. Sorry, I read something and it kind of got me flustered there for a second. If you have any questions for me for casting or anything, you can always message me at my email, crazyflubb@gmail.com. All right. Obviously, I guess there's some problem with the music. I will try to have it running in the background for most of the next time. I had it for the intro and outro, and if you guys ever are interested, it's going to be always at the bottom in our description whenever we have any music. So, yeah, you guys can find it there. So I will leave you at that. I hope that I've left you updated, and you've now been updated. I'll see you guys next week, or maybe tomorrow on Brewmaster's Draft. All right, catch you later, guys.